Yo guys, what's up? It's Luke here, back with another video on my channel. I'm coming to you guys from the US, where we're also experiencing the you-know-what. And I have a confession to make, guys. I relapsed. I relapsed. Yeah, guys, I relapsed not yesterday, but the night before. And an interesting thing was, I was gonna wait to make this video, but I've honestly been just wanting to upload lately. Like, I've been wanting to get out and make videos because stuff isn't like fully shut down here, but most places that are like non-essential like are just closing just because, I think just to help out. But yeah, guys, so I feel guilty and I feel weird about it, but one thing that's been different, and one thing a couple things that I just wanted to make this video about, because I know when we're first starting this journey, like, people probably tend to relapse a lot. Like, I know I tended to relapse a lot. So there were a couple things I noticed. This time, when I relapsed after, I was not super pissed off, and I noticed how I was almost trying to make myself feel like feelings that I just don't feel anymore. And sometimes, and throughout this journey, like, I've come to learn about myself more, and that was one of the things I used to do a lot. I used to try to like force consciousness and force like understanding and like force feelings and force like motivation upon myself. And to a certain extent, like, you have to do that sometimes and get yourself to do stuff, but I think there's a difference. But yeah, guys, like, what I felt this time was like, so I've been on this journey for damn near, and I like to keep my count, and I'll explain why later. I've been on this journey for about 230 days, and I've only relapsed 2 days. So the first time was after like almost 5 full months. The second time was after only 2 months. And so that kind of scared me a little bit. And talking about this right now kind of scares me, guys, because it's been so long and I've changed so much as a person, which is honestly like another plus what I realized about relapsing. Is that I have changed as a person. And so I've been kind of sketched out lately because I don't really know like my mental strategies as well as I used to when I was first getting like really successful with NoFap. Because, you know, as my life's changed and as I've gotten like better with it and more away from it, I've actually like, you have to use those strategies less and less because you're actually successful and you actually like don't seek to escape and then seek joy in that anymore. And so I've been like, that's where like the bulk of my anxiety has come from, is like figuring out how to make sure I don't relapse again. And thinking about that now, guys, I'm so determined. Like, so the first realization I had, and the reason I like reflect upon my relapses like this is so you can figure out what led you to it. And if you can figure out what led you to it and then you can eliminate that, then obviously you're gonna relapse less and you're gonna be more successful and more happy because you're meeting your goal and you're getting rid of this bad fucking habit. I'm walking up and down an alley right now because I like the sun. I don't really want to walk around anywhere else because it's close to my apartment. But yeah, guys, so I realized like back in the day I would just get so fucking pissed off and I would just feel like every single negative emotion, just fucking anger, pissed off, anxious. And this time the majority of the feelings I really feel are just disappointment. Like the phrase I just kept saying to myself, like, I would look down at myself, you know, when I was about to take a shower earlier, and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry, Luke. Like, I said that to myself. I was like, I never want to do that again. Like, I never want to do that again. So that's how I felt this time, guys. And I was making a couple videos the other day, like on the days leading up to the 19th of March, the day that I relapsed, and I just, for some reason, I remember, like, vividly, distinctly remembering, feeling like, man, I feel like I'm jinxing myself. I feel like I might accidentally jinx myself. And so thinking about what led me to relapse is I I'd gotten to the point where I could look at girls and I could see like girls, like, you know, how girls pose on Instagram, and it is kind of like pornographic. Like, in today's society, we have like a much more like girls, like when they post, like their butts are out, like their boobs are out. But I noticed, like, as I've grown over this journey, I've been able to look at those photos and seek real women still, and not go back to the internet. And I did this 30-day challenge, and towards the end of it, you have to talk. And I've noticed this before, like, the more I focus on getting a girlfriend, the more I really focus on girls, I'm looking around for girls, and I'm looking around at girls more. So I think that, like, activates my urges more because I'm more turned on. And then I saw, so like that kind of had happened over a couple days. And what I realized is I didn't stop and take a breath and like say my feelings to myself and kind of resolve those feelings. What I did was I kind of kept letting those feelings build up. And so I think what happens is, like, you kind of form a thought loop, and your attention will go back to that thought, and it can kind of build up. And then I went on Instagram, and I accidentally saw this girl, and I looked, and I like scrolled through her page, and what I realized is like, I was allowing myself to do that. Okay. I was choosing with my willpower, and that's what one of my mentors taught me. And the day that he taught me that was the day that I like felt safe and felt like I was fine, and felt like belief in myself, and felt like I was finally gonna be able to like beat this demon. And because that's my biggest fear, you guys, with this, and that's also what I realized, is that like that part of me, that sexual part of me, is gonna control me. But you can literally choose, like. So I know that when I look at images like that, and when I look at girls and really check them out, like, I get horny, I get turned on. And so that can possibly lead me back to that, like it did in this instance. And I think that's what happened last time too. And I've honestly still been reflecting on my last relapse in January. So I know now that looking at that stuff, if I eliminate that, and that's what led me to relapse, then, you know, I'm gonna have a much lower chance of relapsing if I eliminate that stuff. And the last thing I realized was, guys, is I don't want to relapse like every 4 months and then every 2 months, and then that kind of made me think, well, this natural trend is like the amount of time that it's taking is dwindling, is getting less. So I don't want it to become a thing again. I don't want it to enter my life ever again. Like, I felt so free. I felt like my dream life, my dreams were attainable. And now I just feel kind of dead the past couple days. Like, I don't feel super horrible, but I just feel like desireless in a way. Like, I just feel kind of dead, you know? Like, I feel just not as, like, today I feel better. Yesterday I made sure I ate really well. Today I made sure I ate really well. I exercised. My friend actually gave me a bike, so I've been working on that. But yeah, guys, I really realized, like, I'm not gonna let this, I'm gonna figure out how to try to bring that energy of, like, I'm never going back to that place, and that's such a strong desire to never, like, relapse again. And because I don't want this to happen again. Like, I don't want it to happen ever again. Like, I want this to be the last time for 2020, and then I want to go forever. Like, and so I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna report back to you guys. But guys, I just want to figure out how to keep that same motivation, that same energy long term, so that when you do actually change and you do kind of start to relax a little bit, you don't relax too much and then not use your willpower when you should, and allow yourself to relapse. And I think that's what happened to me. That's what I did. and I just still feel disappointed. I still feel anxious to figure out like whether or not I can look at those images, because I was starting to be able to and really be able to control myself, but obviously it led me back to that. So I think I know my answer, but I just feel a little confused right now. And honestly, guys, the reason I wanted to make this video so bad was because it just felt better to get it off my chest. Like, I really want to do YouTube in my heart. I know for a fact I do. I love making these fucking videos. It feels good for me. Like, the type of life it can bring me, that's what I want. And if I'm gonna do it, I feel like I have to be as true as possible. And not even like I have to be as true as possible, but like I want to be as true as possible, because when you're as true as possible, and when you're being as truthful as possible, and when you're being as authentic as possible, you're not gonna feel like anxiety. You're not gonna feel worried. Like, you might at first a little bit, but you're gonna feel good because like you're being your real self, and you're gonna feel like calm and relaxed and good. And so when you're in that emotional state, which is also a vibration, you're gonna attract the right things into your life. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna do some research and I'll get back to you, because I don't ever want this to happen again. I feel anxious. I feel pretty disappointed. I don't honestly feel horrible, but another really weird thing I noticed before I end this video is I went to speak some Spanish, and I can speak French as well. I went to speak some French the other day, and my mind felt different. And so I started looking at like what areas of the brain are like cross-associated with, like, you know, PMO and like language speaking. So I think I'm gonna come up with that, and I think I'm gonna do some more research on that, and I'll report back to you guys. But I just want to be a source of motivation and inspiration. Like, we got this, guys. Like, I'm gonna figure out how to fucking not ever relapse again, and like that's truly what I want to do. Like, it's in our control, guys. It's in our power. Like, we got this. I know I'm gonna bounce back from this. Like, I know I'm gonna come back stronger. Like, that's what I've not done in the past with other things I've messed up on in my life. And a lot of pro athletes have that mentality, and I feel like having that mentality right now. So I just want to figure out how to keep this same energy for forever. Like, I wish you guys a good day, and as always, end it with a little positivity and humor. Fucking 9 to 5, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.